Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Bianca. And in this video, we're going to be doing a crochet video, but we're also going to be doing a yarn review. So I saw a picture of a clownfish maybe a week ago on Pinterest, and I'm like, oh, I really want to make that. That's so cute. But I don't have any size 7 orange yarn, and I really couldn't find any. I don't think Sweet Snuggles has an orange color, so I was looking for some online. I can't remember if I found some on Hobby, but one, their size 7 is really expensive and it wasn't on sale. And two, their shipping kind of takes a while. I feel like with Hobby, every time I order from them and it says it's gonna come on a certain day, and it always comes like a day or two later. I don't know what that's about. But anyway, I ended up seeing the Premier yarn and I just decided to try it. I tried Premier yarn before. I tried this version of it. This is the one that's from the Dollar Tree, and I really don't love it. I actually don't really like it at all. I did a yarn review of this yarn before. It was like a short. It wasn't an actual video. It was a short version review. So if you want to check that out, go look at that. I did not really love this yarn. So if I'm basing this yarn off of this one, I feel like it wouldn't be good, but I decided to give it a chance just because they might just make this version for Dollar Tree. I actually went online and tried to find this version and I didn't see it on their website, so I'm wondering if this is just like a cheap version that can be sold at Dollar Tree and that's why it might not be as good. I always see so many reviews of Premier yarn and people seem to love it, so I decided to check it out. Honestly, it has mixed reviews, so I decided to check it out for myself and see what I thought of it. So yeah, this is going to be a crochet and yarn review video. Let's open up the package. Okay, so far we're looking good. I feel like this is, ooh, it's shedding already. I feel like it feels pretty soft. Like, I do like the texture of it. I can't remember how much it was, but I don't remember it being that expensive. Let me see. Yeah, so this yarn was $7.99. So basically $8. Honestly, that's the least expensive I've seen size 7 yarn be so far. So I do believe that's a pretty good price. It feels pretty good. I did pull out the end a little bit and it is like kind of shedding, so I don't know how that's going to grow crocheting, but we'll see. I got this color. I'm loving the color. They have they have a really large color range, honestly, too. These are all the colors, so I think it has like a pretty decent color range. The color range and the price are honestly, those are pretty good already. The shedding, I think I might have a problem with the shedding, and I do like the feel of it. I feel like it's pretty soft, so that's good. I also got black and I got white. Now I have black and white and Sweet Snuggles, but a problem I've come across with some yarns is they might say they're like a certain weight, but they're not really a certain weight. That was my biggest problem with this yarn. This yarn on the packaging says it's a size 6. It's advertised as a size 6, but it's actually slightly smaller than the Hobby Lobby size 5 yarn. So it's not quite a size 4, but it's definitely not a size 6. So I got all 3 colors just to be able to use these colors together, like use the colors in the same brand together, just because I don't know if it was going to actually be a true size 7. So before we get started, I'm going to go get a Sweet Snuggles size 7 and compare the two and see how the sizing looks. So here's the Sweet Snuggles. This is a size 7. We're going to put these together and see. The colors are pretty close, but it's not quite the same. The Michaels yarn is just slightly larger than the Premier yarn. Not by much, but slightly. I don't know if it's a little bit fluffier or what. The Michaels yarn is slightly larger, so I don't know if it makes so much of a difference that you can't use the 2 yarns together, but there is a difference. We're just going to jump into crocheting the clownfish. I don't really have a pattern for the clownfish. I couldn't really find a pattern that I like, so I'm going to kind of start it, like do it like I'm doing a bee. So I have a bee pattern that I usually follow. I'll just do it like that, and then when it comes to the fins, I'll just freehand the fins, and then if I need some support, I'll try to find like a pattern for the fins. So let's just get started. So I don't really know what's going on here, but I just want to stop and show you guys. I haven't crocheted this part. This literally just came up while I was crocheting. Like, while I was crocheting, I did notice the white was shedding a little bit more, and then literally this whole thing just appeared. So I don't really want that piece to show. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna skip some of the yarn and almost do it like it's a color change and just tuck this piece inside. And let me pull to make it a little bit tighter. And yeah, I think that works. So I don't have to cut the yarn or anything, but I don't want that thin piece to show. That's the first time, that actually has popped up in any of the yarns. That's the first time I've seen that in like any yarn. Here it is again. I don't know, I think it's shedding while it's like in the skein as it's coming out. Maybe it would be better if I would have just, instead of doing a middle pull, if I would unravel around the side so it's not rubbing against each other. And then while I'm trying to like, also while I'm trying to frog it, it's shedding. I would say just be aware of that if you're going to use this yarn. It's honestly very hard to frog. I think I'm just gonna have to cut this. Okay, so this is where I'm at. I have already detached the black and the white. I'm about to start decreasing, adding my eyes and stuffing it. Then after I close, I have to figure out, after I close it, I have to figure out what I'm doing with the fins. Right, so this is where we're at right now, and I'm just gonna go right into getting started with the fins. All right, hey everyone, I'm back. So I finished the fish, and here it is. It's so cute. Yeah, let me give you a 360. So for the fins, I did end up having to like look up a quick pattern, but once I did like the back fin first, once I did the back fin, it was pretty easy to figure out the side fins. And then yeah, I used the pattern, like their pattern for the top fin. I just kind of put my own little flair on it. If you see me doing this, it's because I'm kind of picking off the sheddings off of it. Also, this is how much orange yarn I have left. But let's talk about the yarn. In terms of softness, it was okay. The white yarn was the softest for some reason. Like they had all different softness levels. The white was the softest. The black was a little bit like less soft, and the orange was the least soft. It wasn't terrible, but it definitely wasn't as soft. The orange at least wasn't as soft as Sweet Snuggles Light. And then a white one felt too soft. To the point where I think like that was kind of contributing to the shedding a little bit. I felt like when I was pulling the yarn out, I did a middle pull. it was shedding because out of nowhere I would just get like a really thin piece. So for softness, I'll give it about a 6 out of 10. And I talked about shedding a little bit. I'm also going to give that a 6 out of 10, maybe even a 5 out of 10, because whatever was going on with the white yarn was so weird. Like, I would just get random thin pieces. It didn't really happen with the black or orange yarn, but the shedding with the white was really, really bad. And then also the shedding, like, let me see. When I was weaving in my ends and kind of cutting off the ends, the shedding was also really bad. It's like you have to be very gentle with this yarn or it's going to shed. Even when I was trying to frog some of the yarn, it just automatically was shedding. So I feel like don't make a mistake. At least the white yarn was shedding a lot when I was trying to frog it. The orange yarn was okay being frog. In terms of the size, the yarn size, I give it an 8 out of 10 just because it's not, it's not, I kind of, I don't know if I should, but I compare a lot of yarns to like Hobby Lobby and Michael's yarn. I kind of look at them as the standard. And the Michael's yarn was slightly bigger than this yarn, but it still was a good size. Like, it wasn't that much of a difference. It just, maybe I'm being nitpicky, but it still was a really good size. So I gave it an 8 out of 10. The color range, I also gave it 8 out of 10 because they have a decent amount of colors. And then for price, I gave it a 10 out of 10. The price was only $8 per skein, and that's honestly the least expensive I've seen it. So I feel like that's a pretty good price. Overall, I gave the yarn a 6 out of 10 just because like whatever was going on with that white yarn really threw me off. The shedding really, really threw me off. Maybe like if I'm feeling generous, I would give it a 7 out of 10. But that shedding with the white yarn, just while I'm crocheting, coming into like finding random thin pieces was just very weird. So I don't know. I feel like this isn't a yarn I would make my primary yarn. Like, this would be more of a backup yarn for maybe certain colors that I can't find anywhere else. Like the orange, I ended up buying this yarn because I couldn't find that orange anywhere else. So they do have colors that Sweet Snuggles might not have, or that you might not be able to find at Hobby Lobby, or even on Hobby. And I will say, like, this shipped faster than Hobby. This shipped way faster than Hobby. I got that in a decent amount of time, so it does come really quick. That's my little yarn review of the Parfait Parfait XL. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next one.